The salvage freighter Meridian's Hope drifted through the debris field of what had once been the Keltharian outpost, its hull scarred by micro-impacts and years of hard service. Lisa crouched in the cargo bay, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface as she cataloged their latest haul. Her auburn hair was tied back in a practical bun, and her gray jumpsuit bore the stains of 1,000 jobs like this one. "Contact," James's voice crackled through her earpiece. "3 ships. Korvaxi raiders by the look of them." Lisa's jaw tightened. The Korvaxi were infamous across this sector, bipedal reptilians standing nearly 8 feet tall, with natural armor plating and a cultural obsession with dominance through violence. They preyed on small human vessels, considering humanity's lack of natural weapons and modest stature as proof of inferiority. "Can we run?" she asked, already knowing the answer. "Not with our engines in this state. They've got us bracketed." Lisa closed her eyes and took a slow breath. "Then we follow protocol. No heroics, James. Give them what they want." 20 minutes later, 6 Korvaxi warriors filled the cargo bay, their scales gleaming obsidian under the harsh lights. Their leader, a massive specimen with scars crisscrossing his snout, approached Lisa with the casual arrogance of a predator who'd never met meaningful resistance. "Human female," he hissed, his translator rendering the words in a mocking tone. "You will transfer all salvage rights to this sector to the Korvaxi clan Darkspine." Lisa kept her hands visible and her voice steady.
"The salvage is yours."
"We don't want trouble." The leader's eyes narrowed with something like disappointment. He wanted resistance, needed it. Violence was currency in Korvaxi culture, and easy prey offered no honor. He struck her across the face with the back of his clawed hand. Lisa stumbled but didn't fall. Blood trickled from her split lip. She straightened slowly, meeting his gaze. "Don't hit me again!" The Korvaxi erupted in laughter, a rasping, hissing sound that echoed through the bay. The leader stepped closer, towering over her. "Or what, soft skin? You will cry? You will—" He hit her again, harder this time. Lisa went down on one knee, her vision swimming with red. When she looked up, something had changed in her eyes. Something that made the nearest Korvaxi warrior take an involuntary step back. "I warned you," she whispered. Her hand moved to the emergency panel on her belt. Not a weapon, but a release switch. Throughout the cargo bay, hidden compartments hissed open. The Korvaxi turned, confused, as strange metallic orbs rolled across the deck. "Humans," Lisa said, rising to her feet as the first orb began to emit a high-pitched whine. "Don't have claws. We don't have armor. We don't have venom or enhanced strength." She smiled through bloody teeth. "We have something better. We plan ahead." The orbs detonated, not with explosives but with electromagnetic pulses specifically calibrated to Korvaxi neural patterns. The raiders convulsed, their enhanced nervous systems turning against them as the pulses hijacked their motor functions. Lisa moved before they hit the ground. Humans might be physically weaker than most species, but evolution had granted them something the galaxy consistently underestimated: endurance, adaptability, and a talent for creative violence that made up for every physical shortcoming. She grabbed a cargo hook from the wall, 2 feet of reinforced steel, and swung it with precision, learned from years of dangerous salvage work. The first Korvaxi, still twitching from the EMP, took the hook across his knees. Armor plating cracked with a satisfying crunch. James burst through the bay door, a plasma cutter in one hand and a welding torch in the other. He'd been a combat engineer in the Terran Defense Forces before the salvage life. Those skills hadn't atrophied. "I said no heroics," Lisa shouted, ducking a wild swing from a recovering raider. "You started it," James replied, using the plasma cutter to sever the support strut above another Korvaxi's head. 200 pounds of metal collapsed onto the warrior. The cargo bay became a chaos of improvised warfare. Lisa used every trick, every environmental advantage, every ounce of human ingenuity. She activated the bay's gravity plating in sections, sending Korvaxi stumbling into bulkheads. She vented atmosphere from specific compartments, using the rushing air to throw off their balance. She turned their own strength against them, leading them into traps and enclosed spaces where their size became a liability. The leader recovered fastest, his superior genetics fighting off the EMP's effects. He lunged at Lisa with a roar, claws extended. She didn't try to match his strength. Instead, she dropped and rolled, letting his momentum carry him past her. As he stumbled, She grabbed a canister of industrial adhesive from a nearby shelf and sprayed it across his eyes. Blinded and enraged, he swung wildly. Lisa stayed just out of reach, letting him exhaust himself, letting his fury become his weakness. Humans had hunted prey across African savannas not through superior strength, but through persistence and patience. When he finally slowed, gasping and disoriented, Lisa picked up a magnetic clamp from the deck, standard salvage equipment, innocuous to most species but weighing nearly 40 pounds. She'd carried thousands of them in her career, building the grip strength and core muscles that many superior species overlooked. He brought it down on the back of his head with every ounce of force she could muster. The Corvaxi leader. Crumpled, silence fell over the cargo bay. 6 raiders lay unconscious or immobilized among scattered salvage and equipment. Lisa stood in the center of the wreckage, breathing hard, her face bruised and bleeding but her eyes sharp and alert. James approached cautiously, surveying the scene. 20 minutes. You called it exactly. Lisa wiped blood from her lip and smiled grimly. Corvaxi psychology is predictable. Arrogance, aggression, reliance on physical intimidation. She looked down at the leader. They never account for humans being patient enough to set a trap, or angry enough to see it through. What do we do with them? James asked. Strip their weapons, take their ship's data cores, and leave them with enough supplies to limp home. Lisa's voice hardened. And make sure their clans know what happened here. Let them spread the word. Humans might be soft, but we're not prey. As they worked, Lisa touched her swollen face and thought about all the species in the galaxy who saw humanity's lack of natural weapons as weakness. They would learn eventually what apex predators from Earth already knew. The most dangerous creatures aren't the ones with the biggest claws. They're the ones smart enough not to need them.